Homicide Squad detectives yesterday arrested a 31-year-old man at Weatherwell Park who was charged with a 1995 murder of schoolboy Peter Savage. Peter was fatally stabbed whilst walking home from school following rugby training. The male person arrested yesterday was a juvenile of 17 years of age at the time of the incident. He appeared briefly before the Fairfield Local Court, where he was remanded in custody to appear before Burwood Local Court on Wednesday the 26th of August 2009. As I said, with me is Leon Savage, the older brother, one of the older brothers of Peter, who will represent the family, and he has a short statement he wishes to read onto the record.
It's been, as Mick mentioned, 14 years since Peter was murdered. My first point is that I'd like to bring some praise to the New South Wales Police Force. These are dark days revisited. So as we talk about the emotions that were felt at the time of Peter's murder, it brings back those strong memories. The night of Peter's murder and the days that followed were the darkest times of my life. And these are some of the saddest times for Peter's family and for many of his friends. So unfortunately, the events of this week, being in touch with the police and being informed of the progress, this has opened those old wounds, and the emotions have been coming out again. The police are still interested in any person that does have knowledge of this person's involvement to present themselves to assist police with their further investigation and ongoing investigation. Holding back information, it's hard for any of us to not share with friends big news items, big items that happen to us in life. This has happened 14 years ago. This must have weighed heavily on anyone who was involved in that night. Be very hard to restrain yourself from not sharing that information. So there will be people who will know more about this and will know firsthand from any people who were involved what happened. These people as well, not just the perpetrator or the perpetrators, but the people who have come to know this knowledge, that would have been very hard to bottle up all this time. This is a good news time as well for those people, because there's an opportunity to release that information, to share that information, to tell their story. Why do I want justice to be done? Why would I want continued satisfactory progress in this matter? Firstly, I think it's good that the idle and the troublemakers can see that if you choose to live in New South Wales, that justice is strong and is determined. Why would I want satisfactory progress to be continued to be made in this matter? I've got friends as well with kids now. And I don't want any of my friends' kids to be walking home in fear and to suffer anything like what Peter suffered. I want my friends' kids to be able to walk home from school safely. Why am I looking for a satisfactory conclusion to this matter? And why do I want the people of New South Wales to see that justice can be done? Because I also want my neighbour to be able to walk up to the shop safely. I want my neighbour to be able to travel safely around Sydney. Forgiveness is part of my life, and I come from a Christian family. Forgiveness is part of my mum's life as well. So it's not something that's been there with us 14 years. It's there. It brings back sadness every time we remember, the time of year that Peter died, and my mum, suffered a lot more than the rest of us. But it's something that had a very high level of sadness at the time for the days and for the weeks that followed, but it's not. It really doesn't stay with you as an everyday part of your life. There's going to be other feelings that will come through. You know, there's anger and hatred are very hard to put down, but I'm sure that they'll bob their heads up at the time. You know, it's the thing is, I believe that there's we have justice here, but in the long term, if we don't ask for forgiveness, then I believe in a God who acts on our behalf, and these people, whoever they are, whether they get caught here or not, they have judgment to face up to. You know? So that brings back the sadness, because you think at the time he was 16 years of age, and yeah, and at the time Jessica, he was just blooming, if you like. He was developing great interest in his school and in his sport and in everything. You know, his enthusiasm was ebbing, and so for Peter at the time, showing so much interest in life and so much enthusiasm, and then he was cut down right there and then. That's something about Peter at that particular time, and that Peter comes from a very ordinary suburb, a very ordinary household, and nothing special, and that's the great. I can't talk about specifics. Sorry. So, it's like, using general words you can apply to everybody. Like, he's a good boy, but he's my brother. He comes from a family of 4 boys. It's rough and tumble. It's scrap and fight each day. It's not. That's part of the love.